what is happening with the channel, the number of views that it gets, how much money it makes, the watch time, all of those details. That is something that I try and present every single month when I receive my payments from Google, my AdSense, my earnings. I've done this for 15, 16 months now, basically since the channel first became monetized. It's a bit like a peek behind the curtain in terms of everything that I get to see as a content creator on the platform, and just letting you see what it's like to run a channel, something that's gone from the start of January 9th, 2025, all the way through to this point now. And this is the kind of statistics that I see in my YouTube data portal. It's called YouTube Studio, and I can log in there, see all my video statistics. So I was asked by a couple of viewers to make sure that I keep this series running, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So this is for the month of May. Now, it's currently July. I'm a little bit behind, so I'm trying to get through these as quickly as possible. Right, so I won't keep you waiting. Let's dive into it. So for the month of May, having came out the back of a really successful April with close to 220,000 views, there was a sizable drop off in the channel's performance. The channel itself had 71,000 views in that month. So what changed? Well, I didn't have any big viral videos that month. Yvonne and I were here in Malaysia for a period of time, and then we went to Bali and spent some time there, and I made videos from there. I didn't really make any shorts. So in the previous April and also March, I had a short at that point that had done close to 200,000 views that was split across those 2 months. I didn't actively make any shorts in that period. So I didn't have any viral sensations. So the channel just generated 71,000 views across a series of videos. That's the reality of it, right? These are the ups and downs of running a channel. You're not always going straight up. Well, my channel's not always going straight up. And in terms of watch hours, right? So again, there's always two metrics that you're looking for when you're running a channel, or when you want to go monetized. The first one is that you need 1,000 subscribers when you start the channel, and you need 4,000 watch hours in a 12-month period. So for the month of May, I still generated 5,465 watch hours. And actually, when you compare that to March and April, despite the massive reduction in views, actually the watch hours were fairly comparable. And that's because March and April had a really huge number associated with it when it came to views, which was a short. But however, when it came to watch hours, it was pretty much on par. All right, let's have a look. So subscribers. Big change here in this particular month for me. In the past, I've had the likes of close to 1,000 or around, certainly in the hundreds, and this month was just completely different. 46 new subscribers. Again, there's a lot going on in the platform. There's a lot of changes happening. AI is coming through. Could give you a lot of excuses, or just that the content was great in terms of my actual base audience, but in terms of finding new people to come and watch videos, it just didn't really happen. That's the way it goes, right? That's the honest reflection of all of this. Sometimes you have ups, sometimes you have down, and I try and always share this as transparently as possible. So if I didn't tell you the realities and hid away from it, then I wouldn't be being transparent. So 46 new subscribers, they predominantly came through from an April's number video that I had done, which was, I think, around the Bali video, how much we'd spent in that particular month. 2 countries, so that was talking about my Bali and also Malaysia months spend. I brought in 22 people. He's retired, which was my catch up with Kelly, my interview with Kelly. 19 people came in May. That's it. Right, let's move on. So in terms of revenue across a series of videos, right, let's have a look at this. So I met with Paul and Cheryl and did an interview with them, chatting about the 90 countries that Paul had visited. That brought in £23.90. That gives you an idea of what AdSense makes. AdSense is when you place an advert in the middle of a video that's over 8 minutes long, and also the advert at the beginning of it. Google arranges with a sponsor a cost of an advert, and then they split some of that cost with you. So if an advert's generating £9 per 1,000 views, you might get £4 or £5 of that, because Google takes its share from the advert that they've negotiated in your videos. That's how these things work. Any videos over 8 minutes can have an advert placed in the middle of it. Google does all of that automatically. I literally just press a button and says yes, and Google does the rest. 23 quid and 20 pence. The April numbers was still paying in May, £20 on it, and then you can see the rest, right? So as we get all the way down to the bottom, you can see I made a video there, 0 burn rate, talking about the meeting with Paul and Cheryl. It did £8.64, so a couple of different things in there. I think that was actually a short that came through. I don't know. Anyway, still related to Paul and Cheryl. Right. Let's have a look, and down at the bottom of that list, right, as you come down to the bottom, you can see the meeting that I had with Scottish John. That generated £5.50. That was a podcast that I'd actually made, so it was about an hour long. That's how much those podcasts bring in. Very small amount of money, but it all mounts up, right? Alright, so to give you an idea, I've pulled in a screen here just to let you actually see what the money is like. So the Retired Early 90 Countries video with Paul and Cheryl, £24.45. Thanks Paul and thanks Cheryl, I appreciate you. I'll get you a drink next time we catch up. But you can see here, in terms of the actual revenue, 1,000 views was paying £6.91, so multiplied over 3.4k views, that generated the £23.90. In terms of how much Google was charging for an advert on that video, that was £15.43. So Google was charging a brand £15.43 to advertise per 1,000 views on my video, and in turn Google was then paying me £6.91 of it, and Google takes the rest. That's the relationship with Google on all of this. Alright, the man with the liver cancer that I talked about, that was Scottish John, £4.90 on that podcast, and from it I was being paid £5.52 as my share from 1,000 views, but the advertisers were paying £9.28. So advertisers are paying Google £9.28, Google then pays me £4.92 out of that. Google takes the rest. Just wanted to explain a little bit of that for you. Right, let's also have a quick look then. So this was also a period when I really started to focus on my podcast. It's called Second Wind. It's available on YouTube and it's also available on Spotify. I do these just because I like kind of having a bit more time to kind of talk and explain situations about leaving the UK, about life abroad, about my career. You know, I can sit down with a microphone and explain topics in more detail, bit more granular information, and they typically last like an hour, but there's not very much money in it. I kind of just do it because I enjoy doing it, right? So I've started to build that up, and I've posted a series of them so far. You can see generated 1.4k views, 1.1k views, 900 views, and you can see here in the month of May those posts, so one stream a week generated 4.7k in terms of views, and that brought in £30, right? So 4 hours of time brought in £30 of revenue. I wanted to share that just a little bit, right? Here's the last bit of all of this, the juicy bit. How much did I make for the month of May? So earnings were £256.93. So January, February, March were all on a slow incline, slowly getting more from about 320 up to about 360, and this month was about £100 less. So a decline in performance, a decline in my performance. Must do better. Again, it's just the realities of a channel, right? I've shared much bigger issues on this channel so far. A couple of months ago, I talked about my stock portfolio being $28,000 down. At one point, it was like $35,000 down. I mean, I'm big enough and brave enough to come and tell you about that side of my life, never mind worrying about 100 quid out of YouTube. So that's the realities of it. Channel goes up and down, and in the midst of all of that, my newsletter has grown, got about 380 members on it now. My Instagram has grown to just over 8,000 followers on there and close to 2 million views. and Patreon has grown as well. So if you've got any interest in all of that, Patreon, I dive a little bit more deeper into these topics, what I invest in. My newsletter is a weekly newsletter just about what's going on with Yvonne and I slow travelling. That's it, folks. Sun's just going down here. It's 7 o'clock in the evening. It's a beautiful evening, and I'm going to go and have a bit of dinner now with Yvonne. Thanks so much for watching all of this, folks. I'll see you in the next one, alright? Look after yourselves.